Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about my first time coming to Japan and my family's impression of me coming to Japan when I first came here the first time, and also how I afforded studying abroad at the time because that's the first time I came to Japan. So when I first came to Japan, the reason why I came to Japan to begin with was my cousin really liked anime. My brother also likes anime a lot too. I'm not a huge fan on it, but I do watch it occasionally. Um, from there was this song that I really liked by LMC. It's called 88. My cousin had showed me the song because he thought it was just funny because Visual K has a lot to do with um, different eye colors like contacts and different exotic hairstyles and stuff like that and colors and stuff. Androgyny stuff like that. Not all the time, but some people say is that a girl? And it's like, no, it's actually a guy, kind of thing. But that's also based on the lighting, all that stuff. Because I mean, the makeup, the lighting, the eye colors, the hair, that can make somebody look different from what they naturally or truly look like anyway. So there's all that going on. But I think my cousin was just interested in how they looked at the time. So he was just like, look at this video. And I looked at the video and I was like, oh, okay. And I also thought oh, is that like a girl? And he's like, no, it's a guy, I think. But Maya's voice is very high, so it was I think. But as I got more into Visual K, I realized that oh, it's just a thing. And now I can really tell the difference. I don't really see any one that I'm just no. I just always know now. But because of that song and because I really liked that song, I would listen to it constantly. And then from that, I started to it on YouTube. You know how it gives you just certain oh, if you like this person, then you may like this, you may like this, you may like this. I started dabbling with other Visual K artists. I think the next one pretty much was the Gazette, which I really really love. I think that was the next one. They also were in the anime at the time. I think for Shiver. I think that's the one about that time. But yeah, I started listening to them, and then I started listening to other people, and then now I'm just hooked at that point in time. And then I was trying to take Spanish, but I couldn't take Spanish because I had to take a test, and because I was a science major, I couldn't take the test. So then I thought okay, well then my goal in life is to learn a lot of different languages. I at least want to learn seven, maybe at least seven if I can, but I'm having so much trouble trying to get Japanese down because of not being able to meet enough people and talk to enough people and just use the language that's holding me back and taking longer than I hoped it would, and expected it would. I was giving myself timelines, but obviously learning Japanese is not a part of that timeline. Probably need to move on to Spanish or French or something. But anyway, I came here first because I really liked Japanese music. And since I was listening to it so much at that time, and I was just I don't even know what they're saying, I thought well, if I can't take Spanish, I might as well take Japanese. So then that's why I started Japanese. And then from that, then I thought to myself maybe I should go to Japan. Now, the reason I thought I should come to Japan at the time was because, well, if I get to talk to enough people, then my Japanese would improve that much more than me just doing this 1 hour class here and then here and here, which at my university was probably 3 times a week for 1 hour. I mean, I had to study on my own too, but I wasn't really using the language. So I was that'd be better if I just went to Japan. And I made Japanese friends during that time at my university's international center. Even though they said it'd be hard to make Japanese friends in Japan, I thought well, maybe he's wrong. But yeah. So there was a study abroad group that came to our Japanese class, and they wanted to just talk to us more about studying abroad and how it changed their lives, how some studied for 6 months, a year, a few weeks, but how much they learned just studying abroad. So I thought to myself wow, maybe I should do that. And then like they seemed like they had so much fun, and like I said, I really want to learn the language. And what better way to learn the language than by going to the country and actually talking to people and meeting new people and learning more about the culture and stuff like that, because that's my whole thing. I want to learn more about different cultures and languages and stuff like that. So with that in mind, I went home and I told my mom about it. I was just like, I think I really want to go to Japan, and I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to study abroad next year. Now, at this time, it's actually pretty sad, but at this time, the tsunami had happened. So, on the same day that I told my mom I wanted to come to Japan, the tsunami hit. So, she was like, as I was telling her, she was watching the news and seeing it, but like I wasn't like I was just getting in my head like, yeah, I think I'm gonna really do this. I'm gonna go in and tell her. And when I went in to tell her, she was watching TV at the same time, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna study abroad in Japan next year. And she was like, here? And I was like, huh? And I looked, and then I saw the tsunami, and I was like, yeah. So it's sad, but it was just like she was like, I can't believe you're trying to study here. Look at this. Like, are you kidding me right now? Well, you better go back to your room. But it's sad, but like, I guess okay, it shouldn't be funny. I'm sorry, but yeah, when I wanted to come to Japan, the tsunami hit. That's horrible. Not good at all. And then at that time, they even brought back some people that was studying by the time back home. So some were kind of sad because they wanted to stay longer in a respective area in Japan, but like because of what was going on, America thought it would be good to bring everybody home because they didn't want anything else happen to anybody else and stuff like that. So yeah, when I went to come to Japan, the tsunami hit, and my mom was like, no. But my mom is very open to letting me do kind of what I want to do in life, besides some things, which is probably not a story for this, but yeah. So she, even though that happened, she was still supportive of me coming to Japan at the time, and I came, if I'm correct, the year after, or like half a year after. That's when I came to Japan the first time, and that's why I came to Japan, and that's how it all started. I just told my mom, and she was kind of like, she was okay with it, but like kind of like, huh? Because of what was going on at the time when I told her, and which was probably a really, really horrible time for me to even think about coming to Japan. But I mean, it's not like I knew that was going to happen on the same day I wanted to say it. But the rest of my family was very supportive, like uncles and aunts. Before I came to Japan, we had like a party, like a going away party, and like they came, people threw money at me pretty much. Like, oh, like be safe, here's like 100, here's this, here's that, and people bought me clothes and stuff like that. So it was actually, everybody was pretty like open to me like coming to Japan. I didn't have a problem with family or anything like that. I think the hardest part was probably friends. Majority was like, no, don't go. And like, how long will you be there? I was like, well, I guess like a year or two. They're like, no, you're gonna stay forever, 1 or 2 years. Like, that already sounds like you're gonna be there forever. So like, friends were having the hardest time with them. I mean, we hung out like every day after that. I mean, not like we didn't hang out a lot as is, but like now they thought like they had to do like that much more hanging out just to make up for time that would be lost when I got here. But friends were probably the least like happy with me coming here, but that's just because they didn't want me to leave and they wanted me to be with them, So I understand that. It wasn't like a, don't go there kind of thing, but it's just like, no, don't leave me. We have so much to do. We still haven't traveled here, or whatever, and so forth. So, that was that made me happy, but at the same time, like, it's just like, yeah, but, I really want to try living in different countries, and I want to learn different languages, and this is the first one. So yeah, they were still supportive of me going. They just like, come back soon. And when are you visiting again? And like, will you be back tomorrow? Like, no. But my family was pretty open to it. My mom was like, but she was just like, like after that, she got over it. Like I said it, she was like, and she's like, okay. But this was all while this was going on, so I was just like, But like then the next year I ended up coming and using the same like knowledge that I learned from people from the International Center that came to tell us about studying abroad. I applied to my international center, and then from there I came to Japan. Now, I didn't have money to come to Japan, but in America they give you like, your scholarship from your school or the loan that you're going to get from your school to go to study abroad. For me, I didn't want to take out too much loans, so I tried to apply for scholarships. But since I waited so late to apply for scholarships, there was only like one left. There was two, but it needed like all this stuff by like the next day, and I was just like, I can't do the essay plus get letters of recommendation plus all that by tomorrow when I just got home, so obviously that wasn't gonna work, so I couldn't apply to that. And then I think at the time Gilman had extended their scholarship deadline, so I was like, perfect. And Gilman gives you like the most money, I think, because you can potentially get up to like $8,000 if I'm correct, and I got 5,000. I didn't get the additional 3,000, which they randomly choose somebody to get $3,000. So I didn't get that, but I mean, $5,000 is better than zero. So I was fairly appreciative of that. I didn't have to take out $5,000 worth of loans, so yay. But like studying abroad, if your normal like scholarships or whatever, they usually apply to that anyway. If you're lucky, the school you're going to may have like their own scholarship too. So like if I went to study in Korea at the time, I was gonna be the only one, and since I was gonna be the only one, like I was literally gonna receive all the money for studying abroad that was like for a few people, just for me. So pretty much I would have had everything paid for. So if you think about it, I probably should have went to Korea because how much? I probably took out like another 4,000 in loans, I think. I wouldn't be paying that right now if I went to Korea. But I was studying Japanese at the time, and it felt weird to go to Korea because I'm just like, I didn't study any Korean at all. Like, I didn't even know how to write, just the basic characters. So I was just like, maybe that's not a good idea right now. So I ended up coming to Japan. I'm still iffy on that, but I mean, you shouldn't like try to think of what you could or should have done in the past, so I should be over it. But like I do, like one, I would almost be done with my, I probably would have been done with my loans if I had them that low, because that's an extra four or 5,000 I wouldn't have paid, and I'm like almost done with my loans, so like I really would have been finished. Yeah. Huh. That would have been a lot better. Anyway, but I came to Japan. And it was two of us, so we got some money for coming here, but obviously not nearly as much as I would have gotten for going to Korea. They would have paid for like all my meals. They would have paid for like my housing, all of that. They would have paid for all of my school. So I would have saved a lot of money if I went to Korea for a year. But I came to Japan and I stayed abroad with my friends, so we had fun, and I do enjoy it, and I still miss those days of studying abroad here. All I did was just study. Everybody's like, let's go out. I'm like, I should probably study some more. I studied a lot, like especially like my last 2 years, I was very on the studying game. I hung out with a lot of people, but I was like, no, I got to make sure I still study a lot too. My grades improved a lot the last year, but I wasn't doing as much working as I was before, since I was full-time working and full-time at school, so that was a lot better for me. But like I was able to focus, and I made it to Japan. So yeah, if you're trying to come to Japan, I advise, like, especially if you want to live here, I advise coming like your last year of school. There's no way you're gonna be able to come to Japan if you don't have a bachelor's degree. for the visa purposes, you need a bachelor's degree, or you could study abroad because you get the student visa. But I mean, it's either having a degree or on your way to a degree. So it's like one or the other. But if you plan to live here, it's probably best to come here last year, like I did. And then you could just like change right over. I went straight out of like graduating at my home university to like a job in teaching. That's the only job you can probably get, like I said before, without like any previous knowledge of Japanese, obviously, because you're teaching English, so they only need you for English. But yeah, if you have an N1 level and your Japanese is really good, then you could just like, just apply for a regular business job or international business. That'll probably be a lot better anyway, you know. But like, if you want to live here forever or for a long period of time, I probably advise coming here last year of school, because since you're having like your school help you pay to come here and so forth like that, you'll save so much more money, and it's probably going to go into your loans, which you would have probably paid for being at school back home anyway. So like the progression from like school to work life, would be a lot better. Besides that, you probably make some friends while you're in school. Hopefully you'll make some very good friends while you're in school anyway. So like, a progression from like school life into like work life. You have friends already. You already have like your job. Like everything's like already like set for you, as opposed to like just coming here and not having a job and probably trying to find something or something like that. Or if you're just coming and you already got your teaching job probably back in your home country to come here already, then you just won't know anybody in your area. I mean, this is my second time in Japan, so I didn't know anybody in my area, but I've been to Japan before, so like for me it was kind of like whatever. But opposed to somebody who just never been in Japan and just came here and then lived like where I live, which is next to no other foreigners, probably have a major culture shock, like what is going on, because nobody knows English here. So yeah, that's just something that you could think about if you want to come here. And that's pretty much my little story of like me trying to come to Japan during a crazy sad time. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, please let me know and I'll try to answer them. See you guys next time. Bye.